Okay, welcome to lesson 20. This is all about triangles. Okay, so our first thing we need to do is classify triangles by their angles. Okay, so steps. The first step is to find the largest angle in the triangle, and step 2 is to tell what type of angle it is. Okay, well, if you look at the first triangle right here, okay, this angle, and this angle, and this angle, it's hard to tell which one is, in fact, the largest angle. Okay, but they are all the same type of angle. They are all smaller than 90 degrees, so they are all acute angles. So this is an acute triangle. Okay, an acute triangle. An acute triangle means that all angles are less than 90 degrees. Okay? So in an acute triangle, all angles are less than 90 degrees. So it doesn't really matter what the largest angle is. Let's look at our second triangle here. Okay? Our largest angle is this one right here. And this angle is opening up. Okay, so that's bigger than 90 degrees, so that's an obtuse angle, which means this is an obtuse triangle. Okay, and an obtuse triangle has exactly one obtuse angle. Okay, an obtuse triangle has exactly one obtuse angle. And the last triangle, we should recognize this one, hopefully. Okay, here's my largest angle right here. Okay, and that's a 90-degree angle, which is also called a right angle. So this is a right triangle. Okay, and a right triangle means it has exactly one, let's erase that. Okay, it has exactly one right angle. And normally you'll know it's a right angle. In this case it looks like it, but normally they'll give you the little box there that you're used to seeing. Okay, so classifying angles by sides. We got acute triangle, or by their angles, sorry. Classifying triangles by their angles. We have acute triangles where all angles are less than 90. We have obtuse triangles that have exactly one obtuse angle. And we have right triangles that have exactly one right angle. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now we can also classify triangles by their sides. Okay, so the first triangle over here on the left, classify it by sides. If you look at it, it looks like all their sides are equal. Okay, and we can represent that all the sides are equal by putting tick marks on each side. If sides have the same number of these tick marks, so for example, this side has one tick mark, this side has one tick mark, and this side has one tick mark, then that means all those sides are equal. Okay, so sides with one tick mark are equal to each other. So this triangle has all equal sides, and that's a very special type of triangle, and that is called an equilateral triangle. Okay, an equilateral triangle has 3 equal sides, and actually it also has 3 equal angles too. Okay, if all the sides are equal, then all the angles have to be equal, and we can make angle tick marks too to show that all the angles are equal to each other. Okay, so that's what those tick marks mean. All of them are equal to each other. Well, this second triangle over here in the middle, we look at the sides here, and these sides are equal to each other. Okay, but this third side is not equal to them. So we would show that's not equal by putting a different number of tick marks here. Okay, so we've got 2 equal sides because they both have the same number of tick marks. And a triangle with 2 equal sides, let's see if we can redo that. Okay. Triangle with two equal sides is called an isosceles triangle. We'll redraw these back in here. Okay. An isosceles triangle has at least two equal sides. Okay. This is key. At least two equal sides. So a triangle that has three equal sides is also an isosceles triangle. But we just called it an equilateral triangle too. Okay, so a triangle with three equal sides has two names, equilateral and isosceles, because isosceles has at least two equal sides. So this one is actually equilateral and isosceles. Well, kind of like the other one, the isosceles triangle also has to have at least two equal angles. Okay? An isosceles triangle has to have at least two equal angles. And the angles that are equal, okay, are going to be the ones that are opposite of the sides that are equal. So, for example, this angle right here and this. Okay, so our first objective is to classify a triangle by its angles and its sides. So example 1 says classify triangle ABC by angles and sides. Okay, so first let's classify by angles. Well, first thing you'll notice is that there's a right angle right here. So this is a right triangle. Okay, and they also tell us something about this triangle as well. Okay, they're putting a tick mark right here. Okay, so notice it's not a 90-degree angle, but it's got a tick mark. This one over here doesn't have a tick mark. That means that A and B cannot be equal. Okay, so these are not equal angles. Well, that means that none of my angles are equal to each other. Okay, so what kind of triangle had no equal angles? Well, if we were to look back to your last page, a triangle that has no equal angles is a scalene triangle because it has no equal sides as well. Okay, so we don't need the tick marks. This shows us, the angles show us that there's no equal sides because there's no equal angles. So this is a right scalene triangle. Okay, so we've got it classified by angle and by sides. Okay, right scalene triangle. Alright, let's move on to another example. Okay, objective 2 is to find the missing angle in a triangle. This example says the roof of the building in the drawing slopes at 35 degrees. Okay, so that means that these two angle measures are 35 degrees because of the slope. We want to know what's the measure of the angle at the peak of the roof. Okay, the peak means the top. Okay, so we're looking at this angle right here. Well, it means we're looking at a triangle. I'm just going to redraw our triangle here to make it a little easier to see. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, but we've got 35 degrees and 35 degrees, and we want to know what this one is. Well, we got to stop and think about what do we know about the angles of the triangle. Well, we know there's three angles in a triangle, and we know what they all add up to. Okay, the three angles of a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. Okay, well, we know two of the angles. We know that there's a 35 and a 35. And we want to figure out the last one. Okay? Well, we can take 35 plus 35. That's 70. So I want to know 70 plus what equals 180? Well, 70 plus 110 equals 180. So that last angle is 110 degrees to answer the question. Okay? Because all the angles have to add up to 180. 35 plus 35 plus 110 will give us 180 degrees. Alright, let's move on to another example.